So on the topic of help and support and the things that we can do, I hope that you all know that your GP is a good first point of contact if you're experiencing any mental health difficulties, and there are some really good charities such as the ones mentioned like Mind and CARM who can help as well. So if you or anyone else is going through anything like that, make sure that you go and get some treatment. That's helpful. I myself am actually going through some psychodynamic therapy at the moment, which is helping me with depression, anxiety, some PTSD symptoms as well. And it's proving to be really, really helpful. I don't think I'd be here doing this speech, this hosting otherwise. So yeah, really do get some support, show some support to each other, be there for one another. We all know the gist. Okay, so now I would like to tell you about an event called Ripple Effect. So the lady just at the back here, in purple, it's an event turning the tide on youth suicide, and they'll be providing an inspirational evening of talks and personal stories. And after the event, there will be some post-event networking and live music as well. So it will be a mix of a casual event where you can go and just have a chat and a drink and listen to some music, but you can also do something that's full of purpose as well. So next, I'd like to introduce Briony Gunson. She'll be our last speaker before the break, and we will be providing some post-it notes during the speech, so you can provide that and fill that in whilst we're talking about meditation. So please welcome Briony Gunson.
Hi everyone. Firstly, I'm already sort of blown away by the talks we've had this evening. I was nodding on furiously to everything Dan was saying, thinking I need to do that. But yeah, some really powerful talks so far, so thank you so much. So what I'm going to share with you today, a little agenda. This is also my first time ever speaking out on this type of topic. I work in digital marketing. I'm used to presenting, but I'm somewhat brooking it, for want of a more elegant phrase, to be stood in front of you guys today. But yeah, so I just want to share with you a bit about who I am, how I came to find meditation, how it's helped me, how I believe it can help you and anyone, and then just a bit of that advice and takeaways. So just a bit about, explain who I am. So my background is in digital marketing, and I've worked in both London and Manchester. And at the moment, I am operations director at a small digital marketing consultancy based at WeWork. And that's actually how I met Omar. He put a shout out on the WeWork app talking about the event. And it was mental health, what I thought represent gender equality. And obviously it's something that affects all of us, it's all of our mental health. And my role as operations director, I'm very passionate about making sure work is a pleasant environment where people can thrive and you can get the best out of people. I think it's been touched on by Dan, how much time we spend at work. And so to me it's really important that people have the adequate time, resources and skills to do their job to the best of their ability. So as operations director, I'm responsible for the sort of resources and the planning. But actually a big part of, or an inspiration that I draw on continuously throughout my day-to-day life, both in work and outside of work, is meditation. And I've actually just qualified as a meditation teacher through an organisation called Be and Do. And there's that strapline, do what you love. And you may notice on the mugs at WeWork that says that there. So in the last 4 years, I've been meditating more and more and sort of going on my own journey. And I just bend the ear of anyone that will let me to talk about everything to do with meditation. So I thought, why not become a teacher? So that I actually feel that I can share that with other people. Now, it's not to say you need a qualification to be a meditation teacher, but it just helped me to feel a little bit more confident about sharing that message with the world. So just like a quick show of hands in the room to first ask if anyone here has tried meditation before. Lovely, cool. And of those people who have tried meditation, would you describe yourself as a regular meditator, say once a week or more? Okay, lovely. So I guess it's not really a surprise that there's quite a healthy number of you who tried meditation, given the type of event this evening, and the fact that people, there's strong recognition now of just the power of meditation when it comes to mental health. And it's wonderful to see that there are regular meditators out there as well. But I thought, instead of me just waffling on about meditation, let's just do some meditation. And so I'd love for us to do a very short exercise together, if that's okay. And the great thing is you can do it sat down or stood up. So it's called a noticing exercise, and we'll just do it together for a few minutes now. So I'm going to guide you all, and it's very straightforward. If you've got anything in your hands, I just invite you to pop them on the floor or on the side for now. And what we're going to do is just to adopt a posture. So if you're stood up, like me, you're going to adopt what's called the mountain pose. So you're going to have your feet hip width apart, shoulders back. Drop those shoulders down because they love to creep up around our ears. And tuck your chin gently in. And for those of you that are sat down, everyone's already beautifully presenting themselves. So you have your feet or legs uncrossed, feet hip width apart, and then your back nice and straight. And then you can, with your hands, either have them resting on your lap, palms up, or palms down, whatever's comfortable for you. Okay? So now I'm just going to invite you all to either lower your gaze or to close your eyes if you're feeling comfortable enough. So we're not looking at any one person or anything in particular. So we're going to take a few deep breaths just to settle into the space and the posture. So we're going to breathe in through the nose now, and then gently out through your mouth. And if you can hear the person next to you, then great. In through the nose, and then out through the mouth. And one big final belly breath in through the nose, and out through the mouth. So just staying there for a moment now. Just noticing how the body feels. If we've been able to let go of any tension that's been gathering through the day. So I'm going to ask you now just to direct your attention to the fingers on your left hand. Just focus in. We don't need to move them or look at them. Just use the attention of the mind and direct them towards your left hand. Your mind may wander off, or you may get distracted by noises, but that's okay. But all we're doing for now is bringing our attention back to the left hand. You may notice a slight sensation, a gentle vibrancy, maybe even a tingling. Just keep your attention there. With our mind-body connection established now with our left hand, we're going to introduce the right hand. So just allowing that sensation to spread and to slowly build in the right hand as well as the left. So just noticing how your attention, when directed to your hands, that you've created that sensation, that mind-body connection. We're going to gently come out of this exercise now, but just take note of how that felt and how there might be sensations in the body. And just slowly wiggling hands and feet and just, welcome to open your eyes. Nice little wiggling going on. Lovely. Great. Can I ask for any volunteers to say what sensations you might have felt in your hands, if any? Tingly feeling? Yeah? Did anyone struggle to have any feeling at all? Because if you do, it's okay. I'm not going to sort of bollock you. You're crap at meditation. Give up, get out. No, it's whatever your experience is your experience. But I think it can often be quite powerful to recognise that you can create that connection. And actually, even if you're just sat, say, at your desk, you can just pop your hands down flat, kind of make sure you're not needing to pretend to be busy. And just take a few minutes just to sort of, just let your gaze soften and then try and do that, because it's a nice way just to sort of centre yourself. And actually, it's through the body that's kind of a gateway into meditation and learning how to calm the mind. So I wanted to share this quote with you about what meditation is. So obviously we just did a meditation together, which is awesome. But there's this quote which I'll read out to you. So meditation is the settling of the mind into silence. When the mind is settled, we are established in our essential nature, which is unbounded consciousness. Our essential nature is usually overshadowed by the activity of the mind. Now this is a quote from a Hindu philosopher from the 2nd century BCE, so it's over 2,000 years old, and it's part of the Yoga Sutras. And now, obviously, so terms like unbounded consciousness are maybe a little bit out there and intimidating. But I wanted to share this because there are some simple messages here about, settling the mind into silence, and that so often the activity of the mind really does obscure ourselves from ourselves, like our true nature. But also the fact that this quote is over 2,000 years old, and that meditation and yoga itself is 4,000 or 5,000 years old, documented. It probably is even older if you think about the old traditions. That to me says this shit works. It must have some resonance, or to be able to clearly understand human nature, otherwise it wouldn't exist today. So I'm an infinitely curious person, so that's why I'm so excited about meditation and trying to figure out just what the hell's going on in here. Now, for many of you, and certainly for me when I first started meditating, trying to stop and be in the moment is perhaps like trying to be this dude here. Now, if you were that man and he suddenly was to stop still there, what do you think would happen? Yeah, pushed over, sworn at, shoved along. Now, I used to actually work around the corner from here, so I may well be in this image somewhere, I'm not sure. But I frequently battled, and sometimes you have to queue for about 20 minutes so you can get down to the platform. So this is a great analogy, I think, for just recognising, given the pace of our everyday life, that when you're trying to just stop for a moment, to take a minute to slow down, can feel so uncomfortable because we're so used to just rushing and moving along, and everything Dan said about sort of the instant response times and just the sheer volume of stuff means that just to stand or sit and be with yourself can feel unbearable. But I do want to reassure you that it is possible to wiggle to the side, and to get to the point where you can watch the stream of people going past. You can start to go, oh, that man looks really annoyed. Or like, that jacket's amazing. You can sort of move to the side and just sort of start to, say, observe your thoughts and emotions, rather than just be bound up in all of them as well. So how did I come to find meditation? So it started back in 2014 when I was living in London, and I was working for a media agency there. So very fast-paced, and probably about a year's worth of prolonged stress, all that task switching, kind of just was slowly building up on me. But I also had a lot of stuff from my past that I'd been continuously making myself busier and busier and busier, so I didn't have to face it. And obviously that's an extremely unhealthy way of dealing with things, and life has a great way of knocking you on your ass to teach you a lesson to sort of slow down. So I ended up sort of just suffering from crippling anxiety and having anxiety attacks, but I didn't even know what they were because I just so alien to me. Now an example is, I remember being in Sainsbury's in Balham and needing to walk through the security barriers to leave and feeling terrified that the chubby security guy in the corner would rugby tackle me because the alarms would go off, and even though I hadn't nicked anything, just the sheer anxiety was so high I could barely, I remember stepping through into the flood of relief when the alarm didn't go off. So that's one example. I also remember cycling to work and crying pretty much the entire way. Now the cost of living in London is expensive and enough to make anyone cry. But clearly, something's not right if you're just sort of gently sobbing your way around Elephant and Castle roundabout. So I reached out to HR at work, and I was very lucky because they were brilliant. And I'd already been doing my own research into different things to help myself. And I would say that that's a great bit of advice, which is to recognise the responsibility you have to yourself, but know that you're not alone. So look into things, try and have a little think about what you need, and then reach out to people. So yeah, so I was very lucky to have a great HR team, and then I signed myself up for a mindfulness-based stress reduction course, an 8-week course, and then I quickly did have, in the last year, been reaching out to other meditators to get advice and inspiration about their journeys and different types of meditation. So I just wanted to list some of the benefits that I personally have experienced through meditation. I'm sure everyone's probably aware of them, but this is from my own personal experience. So obviously there was the whole stress reduction aspect, but just nowadays I'm much better able to manage stress. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still really feel it here and there, and I'm very much someone who likes to help everyone else, so I always overextend myself, but at least I'm a little bit more self-aware now about those kind of watch-outs. There was an unexpected influence of meditation that I just wasn't expecting, and that's the physical aspect. So I used to suffer a lot from IBS, and I'd have really crippling bouts, and I ended up going to the doctors all the time, even ending up in hospital, having various exploratory things to try and figure out what on earth was going on. Second, I really dedicated myself to meditation, it just went. And I could not believe the link to anxiety and stress to IBS. To me, it was just insane. I looked back and I thought, I've just been the whole sort of looking back, just having that perspective. It was very powerful. Similarly, dermatitis. So I used to have quite a lot of patches of dermatitis on my body, particularly on my hands. And I often couldn't wear rings because it would be so painful. And I remember on the back of my hand, I had such a big patch, and it looked so gnarly. Someone had asked me if I'd burned myself, because it just looked so nasty. Again, that's all gone now. I'm not saying that meditation should be some kind of replacement for other treatments, far from it, but I'm just saying that this is my own personal experience and what's happened for me. I should say that I use IBS and dermatitis now as little markers, little warning signs. So when I can feel those symptoms are coming back, then I know that that's a sign for me to slow down. And just more self-awareness and confidence, because I'm more aware of who I am. And then my relationships have changed a lot as well, both personally and professionally. And if it's not already apparent, meditation really has overflowed into every aspect of my life. But it is a discipline, and you do need to practice it. But on the topic of thinking about suicide prevention, I actually lost someone to suicide 2 weeks ago. The funeral's tomorrow. But I knew it was really important for me to come here and speak tonight, so thank you. Sorry, premature round of applause. I do have one more slide, and that's about happiness. I'll be quite quick with this. So when we think about our capacity for happiness, there is this psychologist who did a study, and apparently 50% of our capacity for happiness is almost preset. So we have a blueprint, if you will, that we inherit. 40% of our capacity for happiness is dictated by what you think and what you do. And then 10% of your capacity for happiness is actually circumstances. Now, when you get to know that, you then start to say, well, hey, I'm not really as big a victim of circumstances as I think I am. And with meditation, I can start to influence what I think and what I do. And also with meditation, I can start to become aware of what sits within that 50%. So that, again, you've just got a better awareness of how you can carry yourself in your day-to-day life. So the meditation courses I'm going to look to run will be really focused around trying to understand what sits within those different portions of the pie chart. And then just finally a bit about advice for starting out. So thinking about meditation apps are really powerful, but it's important to maybe try and not get hooked on them, as is often the case with technology. Group meditation practice for me has been really powerful. I would absolutely thoroughly recommend people to give it a go. But just to be aware that there's so much variety out there, there's hundreds of types of meditation, so give something a go, and then if you feel like it's not quite for you, just try something else. And hopefully that's, oh, sorry. One more thing, right, so there's this very lovely Steve Jobs quote, which I'll read to you, and then I promise I'm done. If you just sit and observe, you will see how restless your mind is. If you try and calm it, it only makes it worse. But over time, it does calm. And when it does, there's room for you to hear more subtle things. And that's when your intuition really starts to blossom, and you start to see things more clearly and be in the present moment more. Your mind just slows down, and you see a tremendous expanse in the moment. You see so much more than you could see before. It's a discipline, you have to practice it. So Steve Jobs was like hardcore meditator, so, and obviously business guru, so if you don't believe me, then hopefully believe Steve Jobs. And that's it.